Hey YouTube, what's going on? Son of Sanguinius here, and today we're going to be continuing our Blood Angels Tactics videos with a look at Gabriel Seth, the Chapter Master of the Flesh Tearers. Alright, so Gabriel Seth comes in at 155 points. He is Weapon Skill 6, Ballistic Skill 5, Strength 4, Toughness 4, 4 Wounds, Initiative 5, with 4 attacks, Leadership 10, and a 3-up Armor Save. For War Gear, he has Power Armor, a Bolt Pistol, Frag and Crack Grenades, and an Iron Halo. Special rules are Fearless, Furious Charge, Independent Character, Rage, and Whirlwind of Gore. When Gabriel Seth fights in close combat, any to-hit roll of 6 causes 1 additional wound on the target. And for Warlord traits, he has Red Rampage. And he does have a Relic of Ball. This is Blood Reaver. This is a Strength times 2, AP 4, Melee, Rending, Two-Handed Chainsword. Whew. Alright, so Gabriel Seth, where does he sit? Where does he stand? He's kind of an interesting one, really. Gabriel Seth is fairly cheap for a Lord of War, and he has some interesting stats that kind of make him inviolable in a lot of places. So, the first thing to notice is, unlike, say, Commander Dante, he does not have a jump pack, and he's going to need some mobility. Whether this means, you give him a vehicle, or you throw him in a drop pod, something, just to get him where he needs to be, is really going to be the main thing. And looking at his rules, as far as Rage, Whirlwind of Gore, and if he's your Warlord, Red Rampage, Gabriel Seth can be absolutely devastating against hordes, and he has the potential to be AP2 with that rending thing. And keep in mind, unlike an Eviscerator, he's going to be hitting at initiative. So assuming you take him in a detachment that gives him the Red Thirst, he's going to be Initiative 6, Strength 9, AP 4, Rending. He's going to be turning some, and keep in mind with the Whirlwind of Gore, for any to-hit roll of 6, he's going to be causing an additional wound. With a Rampage, that's an additional, D3 attacks. And with Rage, it just keeps on stacking and stacking and stacking. Gabriel Seth can definitely do some work as far as, taking on, boys or gaunts or, let's see, some other, any other, horde-type armies, guard, something like that. They can really... Gabriel Seth really likes to get in there and do some damage there. And when you think about it, let's see, he's Weapon Skill 6, so likely he's going to be hitting on a 6, re-rolling, or excuse me, not re-rolling, but generating an additional wound for every 6 that he rolls to hit, getting extra attacks with Rampage. It's just crazy. So it's going to be hitting on a 2 most likely, wounding on a 2 most likely with Strength 9 with Rending. Gabriel Seth is by far an absolute beast in close combat. Not so good, on the range front and, kind of getting to where he needs to go, but he will definitely do some damage there. And really, how would I use him? I would honestly kind of throw Gabriel Seth in potentially a command squad, for thematic reasons, or maybe a Vanguard veteran squad inside of a drop pod or Razorback, something like that. Something, that's kind of fast, gets him to where he needs to be. You disembark, maybe, you might have to, spend the first turn, just, shooting guys. You could also throw him in a Land Raider or a Storm Raven if you wanted to go with a much more pricey, but perhaps a much better option as far as assaulting out of... assaulting out of the vehicle goes. Can't really do that with the drop pod or the Razorback, but Land Raider and Storm Raven can definitely give you that option, albeit they are a little bit more expensive. But regardless, I think Gabriel Seth is an interesting choice. I think he's best used in assault-focused armies, which, let's be honest, as Blood Angels player, that tends to be the armies that we make. And Gabriel Seth is more than apt at taking on horde-type armies. So, anyway, that's just about all I got here for Gabriel Seth. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.